Hello folks, this is Sula again, and you're watching a commentary video for League of Legends, this one featuring Rammus. We've got a full 5-on-5 pre-made game here, with full pre-made on each team. You can see I'm playing along with Atlas, who's playing as Morgana, with Termith playing as Ashe, with Mookie, who's playing as Xinjiao, and with Ashane, who's playing as Nasus. Then on the other team, we have Roland, who's playing as Shen, Uberfish playing as Anivia, Cole playing as Rammus, Sunrise playing as Tristana, and another person who's joined up on my buddy list from watching these YouTube videos, Fender, who's playing as Zillion. So again, this is a full 5-on-5 pre-made custom game, and one of the advantages here is that I am playing, not just I am playing Rammus, this is going to be pretty much my first game trying to play Rammus in jungle with him, but Cole is also playing Rammus on the other team, so we're going to have a little bit of a mirror match here in terms of the jungles, so you'll be able to see how each of us tries to play Rammus as we go back and forth. Anyway, I'm going to try to talk a little bit about Rammus, how to build him, that sort of thing. Rammus is currently probably considered the most powerful tank in the current metagame. He's also considered to be one of the better junglers right now, so he's very popular. Rammus usually gets banned in just about any ranked games. Anyway, before I get to going through and discussing how I'm going to play Rammus, talk about his skills, his abilities, how I'm going to go through and jungle with him, I'm going to give you the laning matchups. Just let you know how things are set up in the lanes before I get to my character. In the top lane, we are going to solo Atlas's Morgana, and he's going to be playing against Uberfish's Anivia. In the middle lane, we're going to have Mookie playing Xinjiao, and he's going to be up against Sunrise's Tristana. In the bottom lane, the dual lane is going to be our Ashane and Termith, who are playing Nasus and Ashe respectively, and that's going to be going up against Roland Shen and Vendor Zillion, and then of course Cole and I are both going to be jungling. So a lot of different people playing here. I'm going to do my best to keep the names straight. Anyway, so let me go through talk a little bit about Rammus. I have not played him in a game before. This is the first time I've actually tried to play him in an actual game as opposed to just practicing jungling against bots. One of the things that makes Rammus so effective, first of all, is his passive, which is called Spike Shell. Rammus naturally gets a ton of armor. Just as he levels up, he gets more and more armor. And his passive turns 25% of his armor into attack damage, excuse me. So you can see I'm starting with about 50 armor, and so 25% of that gets converted into attack damage. And so you can see that gets me up to 70 damage to start, which is actually really a lot. I'm also taking the defensive masteries and some defensive runes that helped add to that too. So for Rammus, if you're going to jungle with him, standard build is to start with cloth armor, which gives you extra armor, and then through his passive a little extra damage, and then take 5 health pots. You also want to take Rammus's W skill, Defensive Ball Curl. This is his first skill, and you see me using it here. What it does is, it adds to his armor and magic resist. Now notice whenever the skill goes, if you look down in the bottom left corner on the interface, like right now, I have 49 armor and 49 magic resist. When I turn on Defensive Ball Curl, see how it goes to 99 and 99? So it adds 50 armor and 50 magic resist. And again, through Rammus's passive, that's going to add to his attack damage as well. Now, after killing the Golem, I'm going to skill Rammus's second skill, his Q skill, next, which is known as Powerball. As you notice the animation, it causes Rammus to roll across the ground really fast, gives him really fast movement speed. I believe that Rammus can get the fastest movement speed in the game with Powerball. And what it does is when you make contact with an enemy, it will knock them up in the air just briefly, and it will slow their movement thereafter. So like watch, I'm going to roll into the race here. You can see I hit them, and now immediately I'm going to activate Defensive Ball Curl, which will again increase my armor, increase my magic resist, and will increase my damage through Rammus's passive. So you can see I started at Golems, I went to Wolves next, then I went to Wraiths, and now next I'm going to go to the Lizard. At level 3, I put another point in Defensive Ball Curl. So now I'm going to go after the Lizard. Notice that now my Smite's going to be back up again by the time that I'm ready to finish off this Lizard camp. With another point, here I'm going to Powerball away from the Lizard and then go back because I have essentially infinite mana. Notice how with another skill point in Defensive Ball Curl, my armor goes all the way up to 130 when I have it activated, and that increases a lot of damage. So now that I have the red buff as well, I'm going to finish off with the mini golems, and that's going to complete my route through the jungle. I'm just going to keep using Powerball and Defensive Ball Curl, and that will be enough to let me complete this run through the jungle. And by killing this last mini golem, it's going to take me to level 4, and I'm going to go back to the base. Now I'm going to skill Rammus's E skill, which is called Puncturing Taunt next. This is one of Rammus's best skills. When he uses it, he taunts an opponent whoever he targets is forced to attack him. And the length of time that they're forced to attack him depends on how many points you have in the skill. It's only 1 second at level 1, but when you skill it up to the level 5, 5 points in puncturing taunt, they have to attack Rammus for a full 3 seconds, which is a long amount of time. So by skilling his taunt, it's a really good skill, because you can force people to attack you. That is, he's one tank that can force people to attack him. Rammus is guaranteed to draw aggression. So it's a very, very valuable skill. Doesn't do anything for you jungling, but very useful in terms of trying to go after other lanes. Anyway, when I went back to base, I bought boots and a sight ward for dragon and some health and 2 health pots. Now I'm going to come down here to the bottom lane. We're going to go after Vendor, the Zillion player. So I'm going to Powerball in here, get the stun, and now I'm going to taunt him and force him to attack me with defensive wall curl. He's going to use summon or heal, but it's not going to matter. We're going to get him. And now I'm going to try to Powerball after Roland, but notice the minions block me. If I had managed to get off my Powerball, we might have been able to do some damage. But as Shane and Termith are really beat up, they need to go back and play defensively. So we probably had no chance to get a kill on Roland. But anyway, that was a very effective attempt at a kill there. Now you saw at the same time, Cole, who's also playing Rammus and jungling on the other side of the map, he went after Mookie in the middle lane, but Mookie was able to avoid that particular kill attempt. And now notice Cole's going along the river down there, but we can see him because I already have a sight ward there. And now he's going to go into our jungle here. What I didn't know at the time was that he actually placed a sight ward at our blue buff. Like, that's what he's doing right now. We talked about this after the game. So right now we know he's in our jungle, but we don't know exactly where he is. And Mookie and I are trying to cut him off. So we're trying to look at, oh, he's behind me. So I'm going to Powerball into him. I'm going to taunt him. Like right there, I taunt him, so he has to attack me. And then that, along with Mookie's Ignite, is actually going to get the kill there. I flashed after him. I wanted to make sure that we got the kill, but he was actually already dead. So now we've managed to get a kill on bottom lane, and we're able to get a kill over on their jungler as well. So that's really good. That's going to put me pretty far ahead of Cole. Just the fact that we were able to get a kill on Cole, their Rammus player. So I'm going to be comfortably ahead of him. And now that Mookie is going back to heal at base, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to farm up a little bit of experience in gold. Now, Sunrise, if you're watching this, notice how you're not attacking me. You should just be harassing me. Remember, you're a range champ. I'm not. You can harass me like crazy, but you're not doing that for whatever reason. So you can play a little bit more aggressively. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sunrise's Tristana can't really hurt me. I just have way too much armor for him to really be able to hurt me. But he can still harass. I mean, he can do some damage. There's no reason to sit back and play that passively. Anyway, Mookie is going to top. Mookie is going to try to go after Uberfish's Anivia. You can see he's pushing forward against the tower up there. So while he's up there, I'm going to continue grabbing experience and gold in this lane. And let's see if they can manage to get that kill up there in top lane. I think that this was a pretty effective, and yep, so successful kill up there. So that's going to help put Atlas ahead of Uberfish up there. So a good play by Mookie. Now here you can see Cole is coming in behind me here, but now I have 2 levels on him. He's going to Powerball into me, but you know, he's not going to be able to do much to me. So I'm not worried. If I had more mana here, we could consider going after them and engaging them, but with me being out of mana, it's time for me to go back. One thing I notice here, though, is I notice all the Golem buffs up again. It's been 5 minutes since I killed it at the start of the game, so I'm going to go after that right now. I'm going to Powerball in and then go after the Golem here. Now, one thing that if you remember, I said earlier, Cole had actually rolled in and put down a sight word here, so he actually knows I'm going for the Golem. So he's going to come up here to try to steal this. And unfortunately, our sight word at Dragon just literally died like 15 seconds ago, so I have no vision. So he is watching this, and wait for it. I'm waiting to smite at the right moment on this Golem. And let's see. And Cole smites it. He smites it ahead of me, and I was like, uh-oh, he's right here. I got to get out of here. So I'm going to Powerball out of here, and you can see well, actually, no, I don't Powerball. I should have. Anyway, so I'm going to get out of there, and Cole almost managed to steal that from me, but he smited it just a little bit earlier, just a little bit too early. And as soon as he smited, I was like, what? What's going on? But I was successfully able to get that, so I type in nice try Cole and then a smiley face. It was a really nice play, but one thing Cole should have done, and we talked about this after the game, was he could have just gone in and engaged on me and tried to kill me instead of just trying to smite steal Dragon. I mean, if you noticed, I was really low there. I was almost dead. And yeah, he says missed by 1 sec. So yeah, interesting play there, really close. Would have been a little bit different if he had managed. Game might have gone a little bit differently if he'd been able to steal that. That would have set me back. But one weakness of Rammus is he really does need blue buff to be effective in the early game. With blue buff, he can be powerballing around back and forth, doing ganking other lanes, trying to get kills, using defensive ball curl over and over again. Without blue buff, he runs out of mana very quickly. Anyway, over here, because I didn't kill the two little lizards that accompany Golem before, I want to make sure to clear those so our blue will respawn. Otherwise, it will not respawn. So I'm going to grab those. Then I'm going to drop a Sight Ward at Dragon. Because the whole reason that play happened before is because we were missing a Sight Ward at Dragon. If the ward hadn't died, then I would have known that Cole was coming into the jungle and trying to steal it. So that's what set that whole play up. Anyway, now all of my jungle minions have restored, are back up again, so I'm going to do another pass through the jungle. I don't see too many opportunities. I could probably go for bottom lane again right now, but I think it's more useful at this point to do a run through the jungle and grab everything that's here again. I was going to, we were considering giving this red to Mookie because it's the red buff, the lizard buff is really good on Xinjiao, but he wasn't around, so I'm just going to take it again. And there you can see the stats. The other teams actually outfarmed us a little bit, but we do have 3 kills on them, so we're in a pretty good position. Anyway, while I have a moment here, I'll just talk briefly about Rammus's ultimate, because I haven't mentioned it yet. Rammus's ultimate is called Tremors, and when he turns it on, he does area of effect damage around him. One of the odd things about Tremors is that it also deals damage to towers, too. It deals damage not just to enemy champs, but will also damage towers. So, useful skill for pushing in the late game. Also another useful skill because you can use it to draw aggression with Rammus. If you're next to a tower, you can turn on Tremors, and you'll likely be able to draw aggression from the towers. Over here, we see Mookie and Atlas are going after Uberfish again. Roland Shen used his ultimate to get into the fight to try to save him, but unfortunately for them, it wasn't enough. And they're able to score the kill on Uberfish anyway. So Uberfish has now been... Mookie has gone up there and gone after Uberfish multiple times now, and that's really been able to set Uberfish back quite a bit because they've killed him twice now. So fortunately, we've been able to put him behind. Whereas I think Uberfish was actually winning the lane against Atlas's Morgana before that. Okay, anyway, no one is at mid, so I'm going to grab the free experience and gold by just farming these minions at the tower. If you notice, top lane is pushed back, so there's no opportunity to do anything there. Bottom lane's been pushed back. That's because Roland Shen went up to the top lane using his ult, so that means bottom lane's been pushed back. So there's not really an opportunity to roll in there at the moment and try to get a kill. So in any case, I'm just going to grab these minions in the middle lane. In terms of skill... Oh, and by the way, Cole says you can cancel the curl. He means Powerball. Yes, you can cancel... Or you can cancel defensive ball curl. You can cancel Powerball. You can cancel either one ahead of time if you want. You always have that option with Rammus. Anyway, because bottom lane's been pushed, we're going to do Dragon here. And this looks like a relatively safe Dragon because you can see the only one who's really in a position to contest this is Vendor Zillion. So, just going to keep on the Dragon... And here I'm trying to Powerball him. One of the weird things about Powerball is you have to click behind the target to get it and wait for the smite, and I smite maybe just a hair early, but it's pretty good on the smite timing. When you're playing a jungler, you always need to keep in mind, you always need to keep smite in mind. You can win or lose games based on getting the smite timing down. Here I'm trying to roll back, trying to go for Sunrise. He's able to avoid me though. So I'm not able to get Sunrise, but one thing we noticed is Sunrise backed off when Mookie and I appeared, so that means that Cole wasn't able to do this Wraith Camp, and so Mookie and I are going to take it and just steal a little bit of gold, a little bit of experience away from them. Anytime that you raid the other team's jungle, you're stealing away a little bit of their gold and a little bit of their experience, so it puts you a little bit further ahead. In terms of skilling order for Rammus, since we have sort of a minute here where there's not a lot of action going on, I want to talk briefly about that. There are many different ways you can skill Rammus. All 3 of Rammus' skills are really good. It's not like some champs where one of the 3 skills is kind of garbage. You don't really care about it. But no, really, all of his skills are good. You want to skill points in all of them. I personally choose to skill defensive ball curl first and give that the highest priority. The rationale being Rammus is a tank. And by putting points in his defensive ball curl, you make him more tanky, so it allows him to do his role on the team. Here, I was going up here, and Atlas told me that Uberfish had a ward, so there wasn't really any opportunity to go after Uberfish, but I just wanted to put a little pressure on him, make him feel a little bit more uneasy. And there I smite the cannon minion. There, Uberfish is using Glacial Storm. Atlas is going to go back to heal. So I'm just going to hold on to this lane for the moment. Oh, Mookie and I are going to come up here, and we're going to try to go after Uberfish's Anivia again. One thing we noticed was Sunrise was playing very passively in the bottom lane, and that allowed Mookie to keep going to other lanes over and over again because Sunrise wasn't pushing his lane. So the one thing to keep in mind. Anyway, here I'm going to easily dodge that Flash Frost, and then I'm going to roll in here and try to go after Uberfish. And if you notice, Uberfish flashes, and that's okay. That's a good play by him to get out of this attempted kill. But also, on our side, once he flashes, that's a good play already. You know, we don't need to do some kind of crazy tower dive. You know, we've gotten his flash down, so it'll be down for the next about 4 minutes. And that's already a good play right there. So if you can, you know, there's no need to go crazy with aggression. Just get their flash down, then back off. No need to dive into the tower. But anyway, to go back to the discussion I had a minute ago in terms of skilling order, I like defensive ball curl first. It allows Rammus to jungle faster, and it also makes him much tankier. At skill rank 5, which I now have, defensive ball curl adds 150 to armor and 150 to magic resist, so it makes him really tanky when you have it on. But unfortunately there, Mookie got ganked by 3 people, and so they pick up their first kill of the game. Anyway, this is the end of this video, so we'll continue this in part 2.